Have you ever just stopped and wondered how an AI can take a few simple words and spin them into a stunning, totally new picture? It really does feel like magic, doesn't it? Well, it's not magic, but it is a pretty incredible process of math and machine learning. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how it's done.
Okay, so imagine typing this into an AI image generator. You can see it in your head, right? But how in the world does the computer get there? How does it know what a golden retriever is, or what sunflowers look like, or how to capture the whole vibe of a bright blue sky?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question we're going to tackle today. We're going to walk through the whole journey, from the moment you type your idea to the final, polished image that pops up on your screen.
All right, first things first. Before we get into the nuts and bolts, we have to bust a huge myth about this technology. It's a really common misunderstanding, but getting this right is key to understanding everything else. So here's the deal. The AI is not doing a fancy Google image search and then mashing a bunch of photos together like some kind of digital collage. No, it is genuinely creating a new image from the ground up based on an understanding of patterns it learned from looking at millions and millions of examples. Okay, so if it's creating, not copying, how does it even learn to do that in the first place? Well, it all goes back to a massive training process.
You know, a really great way to think about it is like this. It's an art student. An art student that's looked at billions of images paired with text descriptions. It doesn't memorize every single painting in the museum, but it starts to understand the concepts, color, form, style, all of it. And during that training, the AI starts to connect words with what they look like. It learns the fundamental building blocks of our world. You know, the shapes that make up a car, the unique texture of fur, the way light creates shadows, and even the difference between, say, a photograph and an oil painting. All right, so the AI has done its homework. It's trained. Now for the really exciting part. What happens in that instant you hit the generate button? Let's break down the step-by-step process. So here's the roadmap, the whole workflow at a glance. It all starts with your words, which get translated into a language the machine can actually use. Then, and this is the wild part, it begins with a canvas of pure static, and, step by step, it refines that static into your final picture. This next step is so fascinating. See, computers don't speak English, they speak math. So your prompt, something like a cat wearing sunglasses, has to get converted into numbers. These are called vectors. Basically, the idea of cat and the idea of sunglasses become mathematical patterns that the AI can actually work with. Okay, get ready for this, because this might be the most counterintuitive and, honestly, the most brilliant part of the entire process. The AI does not start with a white page. It starts with a chaotic mess of random pixels. It looks just like old-school TV static. The masterpiece is literally hiding inside that noise. So this process, turning noise into a picture, is usually done with something called a diffusion model. The AI has learned how to do the reverse of adding noise to an image. So it starts with total chaos, and in a series of steps, it denoises the image. First you see rough shapes emerge, then more structure, and finally all the fine details get polished until your final image is there, perfectly matching your prompt. It's like a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble to reveal the statue inside. Now that denoising or diffusion process is super popular right now. It's what powers big names like DALL and Midjourney. But it's not the only engine out there. There are actually a few different core technologies that can generate images, so let's take a quick look under the hood. Another really cool method is called a generative adversarial network, or a GAN. The best way to think about this is as a competition between two AIs. You've got one, the generator, that's like an art forger, trying its best to create a convincing fake image. Then you've got the other, the discriminator, which is like an art critic trying to spot the fake. They keep trying to outsmart each other. And in the process, the generator just gets better and better and better at making incredibly realistic images. So let's just quickly run through these main types. You've got the diffusion models we talked about, the ones that start with noise and are known for those super high-quality detailed images. Then you have the GANs, with that forger versus critic competition, which are famous for creating hyper-realistic pictures. And finally, there are VAEs. Think of these as being really good at compressing an image down to its essential data. That's the encoder part, and then perfectly rebuilding it with a decoder. They all get you to a similar place, just through different routes. So understanding the how is one thing, but what about the so what? Why is this technology so revolutionary, and what does it actually mean for us? Well, the impact is already massive. I mean, something that might have taken a graphic designer hours can now be prototyped in just a few seconds. It's totally changing the game in advertising, video games, film, and even education. It's just a brand new, incredibly powerful tool for anyone who creates anything.
But, and this is a really important thing to keep in our back pocket, as advanced as all this is, the AI doesn't have an imagination. It has no emotions. It's a prediction machine. It's generating an image based on the mathematical probability of which pixel should come next to match what it's learned. It's a stunning simulation of creativity, but it's not consciousness.
And that really brings us to the final thought, doesn't it? This technology is moving at lightning speed, and as it gets better, faster, and more woven into our daily lives, it makes us ask some pretty big questions. Like, what does it even mean to be an artist anymore? And how will our very definition of creativity evolve in the age of AI? It's a lot to think about.